Hi guys, CGCrafted here with another episode of the Archviz tutorial I'm doing. In the previous episode we created the parametric walls and now it's time to add windows and doors. So for the first step we need to have a loop cut around here. It should have, compared to the bottom, about 0.9 meter distance, because that's the usual distance between the bottom part of the window compared to the floor. And now we need to add a plane, go into edit mode, and we can actually pretty easily snap the height of the plane to the edges or vertices. For this we need to go to the snap settings here and change it to vertex. And now if we hold Ctrl while we resize the windows or the balcony doors, then we can snap the length and the height to the loop cut or any other vertices or edges we want. As you can see, I'm trying to create a balcony door and a big window which will contain, well, a big frame which will contain 3 windows. When we are done with the basics, this is the basic shape. I actually wasn't sure for a while how big it should be, but when we are done we can push this back to the wall so we can see how big it is. I will stretch it even more so it will contain 3 windows in this frame, and this is ridiculously high, so I will push this down. Now I rearranged some things. I used Shift D to copy this balcony door just for backup, and just add the loop cut to it so we will have a window on the top part. We can have the same height of the windows and the doors. This happens in real life a lot of times, so it won't look ugly. We can create a frame by using I, but this will ignore our loop cut, so double press I, and now we will have a little place around the loop cut. This is what we want, because this will be the frame. For the bottom part, don't really worry about it, we can fix this. We don't need this to be so high around here, but that's basically it. So it's how I wanted. Also keep in mind I was inside edit mode while selecting both objects, because we can go into edit mode while selecting multiple objects. I'm back to the 3 windows, so let's add 2 loop cuts. Use the same II shortcut which will include our loop cuts, and we will have a separation between the 3 windows and the frames. And now we can just delete the middle part. Shift D to copy, and this will turn into windows. We just need to resize them, make them a little bit smaller, and also we should make sure that we don't have these patches where you can see through between the windows and the frames, but it's easily fixable. Just move these a bit, and the other 3 pane window, I don't think there's a problem. So this was it. For the next thing we will need to add a Solidify Modifier, and this will make it parametric so we can later change the thickness. I will try to do this thickness. Okay, and do the same for the window. Go to the Modifiers tab, add the Solidify Modifier, type in the same thickness that you choose, and do the same to the window panes themselves. So the window, the balcony door, and all that. Of course it should not be that thick, because the frame should be thicker. And when we are done, we are done. Great! What we can do here, with the Solidify Modifier, we can also add a bevel modifier. So we can make the edges look smoother, which is realistic, because in real life there aren't so pointy edges that you see here, obviously. So a bevel modifier can help to add to the realism. And for these 3 windows to be actually separated, go into edit mode, select these loop cuts, and press V, and they will be separated. So I will show you again. So go back and press V and just press escape. And basically that's it. We have now 3 separate windows. We can also select these faces and move them around together a little bit on the x-axis, so we will have more space between the windows, which makes sense for real life, because if you want to open it, of course you have to have a little space between them so they won't collide and crash. And the holes can be easily fixed if you go into edit mode and shift D a little part of the side here, and I use the Z and 0 to create a rectangle out of its outline, so it won't be it won't have that pointy end. And this is it basically. So here we can just copy and do what we did. Use the Solidify Modifier, and for some reason Blender just doesn't like me and when I'm doing tutorials, so it of course has to complicate everything. I think there were some overlapping edges which should totally not be there, but anyway I just ignored it by turning off the clamp overlap option in the Solidify Modifiers settings, so this ignores the overlapping edges which aren't even visible. That's why we can ignore them, because sometimes they will just go and look glitchy and weird, but this is not the case. Probably they are in a hidden area, but I didn't really care, so that's why I'm continuing to do the modeling. And last and very important part is to add the glass, which is basically a plane, but since glass isn't just a plane in real life too, we need to use Solidify again on it to create a double glass window, which is very widespread by the way, and we can use the same plane or another if you want for the balcony door, and we can just use loop cuts and delete the face that we don't need, and that should be working perfectly. Okay, this is what we wanted. We will need another room door actually for the interior, and for the room door I might be opening it, so I will have to use more details. First of all, I will use I for first I will fill the hole because this is a normal door, and I sadly can't use the Solidify Modifier anymore because we will need more details and this will just mess it up. So remove the Solidify from here and remove the unneeded parts. Also Blender likes to hate me again because it's creating weird edges that should have been deleted, and they are solidified, so that's why they can not be deleted easily. So all I did was actually press F to create a face and then delete all the vertices, and that fixed it. Okay, so what we need to do is just basically fix the ratio, and I can't really give you a guide here. It depends on what kind of door you want to do, simple or not, how you like it and stuff like that. So also the bottom part of this door is a bit glitchy, so I will just grab it and move it on the Z up. Same for the balcony door, and this is it. So the proportions need to be fixed a bit, and of course the part on the top should be fixed too. And when we are done, that's a very good sign because we're almost done with all this very tiresome but satisfying modeling session, at least for the windows and the doors. So what we need to do is Alt select this loop and extrude it along normals, and this will create the inner part of the frame, which is like this in real life. And for this we should have a smaller version of this window on the other side. So if we open it, we will see that it's realistic. It's not just going through the frame like a brick. It won't look like a brick, it will have more details, so it will look better. And we can join the two objects that I just copied here with Shift D, and just, you know, fix some proportions, make it less thick or thicker depending on the inner part of the door, or if you don't want to see the other side of the door, your scene doesn't require it, then you can just simply ignore this part. Okay, and as you can see, there are the two meshes joined into one object, and this is working very nicely. Where it doesn't work, it's, well, that's tough luck. Actually, you need to fix this so they will be snapped together. You don't have to snap them 100% perfectly, only if you are a very perfectionist, of course, but this should be fine as I do it here. And there's some glitch with the bevel modifier down here, and it's because there are some overlapping edges. Maybe they were the cause of the weird thing where the bevel modifier didn't work on the frames, and we had to turn off clamp overlaps. So maybe if you try to Alt M and do what I do, merge by distance, this should fix it. Also, there's some weird thing going on here, because for the third time in this episode Blender just hates me. I don't know what's going on here, but since we can just sink this door and pretend it didn't happen, then I'm fine with that, so no need to spend another 10 minutes trying to troubleshoot something that won't even be seen. Okay, so this was this episode. We have our beautiful windows and doors. Of course, you can create handles, but it's very easy. You will be able to make most of the handles by just using a cube and using the subdivision modifier and extruding it a little bit.
If you like this video, that's good. If you turn on notifications by clicking on the bell, that's good. If you donate me on Blender Market, CG Trader, or anywhere else I'm currently available, that's also good. If you say bye, that's super good, because bye.